Hi, this is Linda again, and let's practice the N400 application for your citizenship interview. Let's practice, see how you do. Again, I'm going to tell you I am not a lawyer, but I just want you to go to your interview well informed. I want you to know what's going on. So, when you go in, the first thing they're going to ask you is for your driver's license or state ID. They're going to ask you for your permanent resident card and your passport. Then they're going to swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And you say, yes, I do. Then later on, they'll be asking you for the N400. There's others. There's going to be the reading and the writing. They're going to ask you 3 sentences for you to read. You pass one, you pass the test. 3 sentences for you to write. You pass one, you pass the test. Out of the 100 questions, they're going to ask you 10. If you pass 6, you pass your test. So, let's start with the N400. I'm going to ask you, and you answer. What is your current legal name? What is the name that appears on your permanent resident card? Have you used any other names? You have the opportunity to change your name today. Would you like to change your name? What is your social security number? What is your date of birth? What is the date that you became a lawful permanent resident? What is your country of birth? What's a good phone number I could reach you at? What's your current physical address? What county do you live in? County. How long have you lived at this address? Is it an apartment or a house? What's your current mailing address? Are your parents U.S. citizens? Is your mother a U.S. citizen? Was she married before your 18th birthday? And if she is a U.S. citizen, what is her name? What's her country of birth? What's her date of birth? And when did she become a U.S. citizen? Do you have her naturalization certificate? Same goes for your father. Do you have his naturalization certificate? What is your race? What is your height? How much do you weigh? What color are your eyes? What is your hair color? Are you working right now? Or do you go to school? How long have you worked there? What type of work do you do? Let's talk about your trips outside of the United States. When was the last trip outside of the United States? When did you leave? What country did you go to? How many days were you there? Why did you go? Have you ever taken a trip that lasted more than 6 months? Okay. What is your current marital status? If you're single, we can skip this. If you're married, what's your spouse's legal name? How many times have you been married? Is your spouse a member of the U.S. Armed Forces? What's your spouse's previous legal name? Has your spouse used any other names? What's your spouse's date of birth? What date did you get married? Where does your spouse live? Is your spouse working? What's the name of the company where your spouse works? Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? When did your spouse become a U.S. citizen? If they were born in the United States, give them your spouse's birth certificate. If they were naturalized, show them the certificate of naturalization. If your spouse is not a U.S. citizen, what is the citizenship of or country of your spouse? Does your spouse have a permanent resident card? If so, what's the A number? What's your spouse's immigration status? Is he a lawful permanent resident? Or is it other? Other is undocumented. And you don't need to explain if they're undocumented. And let's talk about your spouse. How many times has your spouse been married? If they've been married only one time with you, it ends right here. And then you go straight to children. But if your spouse has been married more than one time, then we have to talk about their previous marriage, their exes. And they'll ask, what is their names, your spouse's ex's name? And what's their immigration status? What is the date of birth? And your ex's spouse's ex, isn't it funny? What is the country of their birth? And what is the citizenship of your spouse's ex-spouse's spouse citizenship? Oh, it's hard to say, I'm sorry. It's better if you take the divorce papers, the divorce decree, and they won't ask you so many questions. Okay, and number 9, that's about your ex-spouse. If you were married one time, you don't need to answer this. But if you were married a couple of times, they're going to ask you the same thing about your ex-spouse. What's their name? What's their immigration status? And again, bring the divorce decree. Bring the divorce papers and show it to them. Like that, they don't need to be asking you all these questions. And then here we go about your children. How many children do you have? And usually they ask, can you give me their names, their date of birth, and what country were they born in? For all your children, it doesn't matter how old they are. And that is the personal questions for the N400. Good luck. And there'll be other videos pertaining to the N400, and I'll be doing the 100 questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.